to explain. To put it simply, biological evolution is the descent, but with modification. This definition encompasses small-scale evolution as well as large-scale evolution. Evolution helps us understand the history of life. Centuries ago, European naturalists and scientists worked tirelessly to make sense of the world. They relied on works of Galen to gain understanding on natural science. That was until the 1500s when Adrius Vesalius had caught a mistake in his work. The human breastbone actually includes 3 segments, not 7 as Galen had claimed. This discovery had created a revolution in the science world. It inspired more naturalists to question what they thought they knew. Like building blocks, naturalists laid down the foundation for the discovery of evolution by natural selection. Darwin entered the scene in the 1800s. Born in 1809, he was raised by physician Robert Darwin and his mother, Susanna. He had a knack for all things science, but it was not until his voyage on the HMS Beagle that his hobby turned into a passionate mission. During his voyage, Darwin entertained himself by reading works by Charles Lyell, Principles of Geology. His observations of the environment around him eventually led him to question his beliefs in the creation story and the fixity of species. He had noticed a completely new species of animals living in the same area as the already known species of that same animal. If species were created perfectly and in unchangeable form, how could there be 2 different but similar species of one animal living in different regions of the world? After Darwin's experience on the Galapagos Islands, a location with some of the most diverse arrays of species, he had created theories explaining the evolution of species. He called this theory of descent with modification through natural selection. Mutations. Mutations occur in the genome of a certain organism that can cause a change in gene expression. This continues to pass on to the future generations. Mutations are the cause of new traits and variation in a population. Mutations are a random change in the genetic coding of the DNA in an individual. Genetic drift. Genetic drift is the variation in allele frequencies among smaller populations. It happens via the founder effect, or it could also happen through the bottleneck effect. The bottleneck effect occurs when a population experiences an event that causes the gene pool to drastically shrink in size. Only the surviving alleles dominate the following population. A good example of this occurring would be a natural disaster of some kind. It isn't necessarily the fit individuals that survive, rather they're the lucky ones who were simply at the right place at the right time. The founder effect. This happens when a small group moves away from its parent group and settles in a new location. This geographic isolation can restrict this new population's gene pool. So an allele that may have been rare in the parent population can become more common and occur frequently in the new population. And finally, this leads us to natural selection. Within populations, you can often find a variety in characteristics. Some characteristics are neutral, while others can actually be of crucial benefit to the survival of an individual. Populations of species inevitably experience a type of ecological stressor that creates challenges for them. Either something gets in their way of easily attaining food, or certain individuals aren't well adapted to their environment, so they don't reproduce successfully. As a result, the better adapted individuals produce more offspring, and their traits become more common, potentially overtaking an entire population of traits.